Imagine a smart person thinking about space and time when old ideas just didn't work. What if time is not the same for everyone? What if a person flying in a jet is aging just a tiny bit slower than you are right now? A young man named Albert Einstein dared to ask these big questions. He was just a regular worker in an office, but his mind was traveling across the universe. He knew something about time was a big secret, a secret that everyone had missed, and he was going to figure it out. For a very long time, over 200 years, everyone had the same idea about time. A famous smart person named Isaac Newton said time was like a giant clock in the sky. This clock ticked at the same speed for everyone. It didn't matter if you were running, sleeping, or flying to the moon. Time was perfect. It was unbreakable. It was the same for every person, every planet, and every star. This idea was a super strong rule. Nobody thought to question it. It just seemed so. Right. But let's meet our smart person. Young Albert Einstein was not the best student in school. He was quiet and full of wonder. He loved to ask simple questions that were actually very, very deep. He was a daydreamer. His teachers sometimes thought he was slow, but his mind was just busy with bigger puzzles. He liked to think in pictures. He would imagine amazing things to understand how the world worked. One of his favorite daydreams started when he was just a teenager. He wondered what he would see if he could ride on a beam of light. Would the world look frozen? This simple, curious thought was the little seed for a huge new idea. Einstein saw a giant puzzle in the world of science. There were two big rules that everyone thought were true, but they didn't seem to work together. It was like having two puzzle pieces that just wouldn't fit. The first rule was that the laws of our world are the same for everybody. If you throw a ball on a smoothly moving train, it acts just like it would on the ground. The second rule was about light. The speed of light is always the same. It doesn't matter if you are running toward it or away from it. So how did he solve this puzzle? He did not need a fancy lab. He just needed his amazing brain. He created a story in his mind. This is called a thought experiment. Think of it as a super powerful daydream to solve a problem. Let's get our imaginary train ready for its big journey. It is a very special train. It can travel almost as fast as a beam of light. A boy named Leo is sitting inside, right in the very middle of a train car. A girl named Sarah is not on the train. She is standing still on the ground, on a platform. As the train zooms past, she is standing exactly in the middle of the track. Both Leo and Sarah are ready for our big question. Suddenly, a big storm appears in our minds. Two bolts of lightning strike the train track at the exact same moment. One hits the very front of the track. The other hits the very back of the track. For Sarah, standing perfectly still on the platform, she is right in the middle. The light from the front strike and the light from the back strike travel toward her. Because she is in the middle, both flashes of light reach her eyes at the same time. She sees them happen together. Now let's jump onto the super-fast train with Leo. The same two lightning bolts strike the track. But remember, the train is moving forward very, very fast. Leo is moving with it. The light from the front flash is traveling towards Leo, but Leo's train is also moving towards that light. This helps the light reach his eyes much quicker. It has less distance to travel. At the same time, the light from the back flash has to chase him. The train is moving away from it. So, that light takes a little longer to catch up to Leo's eyes. He sees the front lightning flash first. This is the amazing part that changed everything. Sarah, on the platform, swears the lightning struck at the same time. But Leo, on the train, swears the front one struck first. So who is right? Einstein's incredible world-changing genius answer was, they both are. Their experience of what happened is different, and both of their experiences are true. Their realities are not the same. How can this be? The universe has one ultimate law that it will never break. The speed of light is always the same for everyone. To protect that law, the universe does something amazing. It stretches and squishes time and space like they are made of cosmic taffy. This idea of time stretching is a big one. It is a very strange thought. So what does this really mean for our friend Leo on the train? Let's go back to Leo. He is moving almost at the speed of light. To him, everything inside his train car feels perfectly normal. His watch is ticking 1 second at a time. But for Sarah, watching from the ground, something amazing is happening. Leo's time is actually moving slower. Not just his watch, his heart is beating slower. His thoughts are thinking slower. If he spent 5 minutes on his super-fast trip, many more minutes could have passed for Sarah on the platform. This sounds like a fun story, but why does it matter to you? Look at your phone. The GPS that tells you where to go needs this idea to work. It is a part of your daily life. Satellites in space move very fast around the Earth. They travel at thousands of miles per hour. Because they move so fast, their clocks tick just a tiny bit slower than our clocks on the ground. It is a very small difference, but it is real. Scientists have to fix this tiny time difference. If they did not, your GPS would be wrong by several miles every single day. Einstein's imaginary train ride helps you find your way to school. Now think about how Albert Einstein figured this out. He did not use a big machine or a science lab. He discovered this amazing secret of the universe just by thinking. He used his imagination as his own special laboratory. His story shows us something very important. The most powerful tool for discovery is not a telescope or a microscope. It is a curious mind that dares to ask big questions. He changed the world with the power of his thoughts. Einstein showed us a universe that is much stranger than anyone thought. It is also more wonderful. He found one of its biggest secrets. But there are still so many more questions to answer. His journey teaches us that big ideas can start with a simple thought. They can begin in a quiet room, inside your own mind. The next great discovery is just waiting for a curious person to ask the right question. This big idea changed everything scientists thought they knew. If two people can see the same thing happen at different times, then, at the same time, isn't real for everyone. It depends on how you are moving. The only way this works is if time itself can change. For the speed of light to stay the same for both Leo and the person on the platform, something else has to stretch or shrink. And that something is time. Think about Leo on his fast-moving train. For him, everything feels normal. His heart beats at its normal speed. His watch ticks 1 second at a time. He doesn't feel any different at all. But for the person standing still on the ground, something amazing is happening. As they watch Leo zoom by, they would see his clock ticking just a little bit slower than their own. His time is moving more slowly. This isn't just an imaginary story. It really happens. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. It's a rule of our universe. Astronauts living on the International Space Station are moving very fast. They go around the Earth again and again. Because they move so fast, they age just a tiny bit slower than we do. This small difference is super important for things we use every day. Think about the GPS that helps cars and phones know where to go. It uses special satellites that fly high above the Earth. Those satellites are moving incredibly fast. Their clocks run just a little bit slower than our clocks on the ground. If scientists didn't fix this small time difference, GPS maps would be wrong by many miles every single day. So, the next time you use a map on a phone, you can thank Einstein. His big idea about a make-believe train helps us find our way in the real world. It connects a huge thought to a small thing in your hand, and this shows the real power of a curious mind. It all started with a simple question. A young person just wondered what it would be like to ride on a beam of light. That one question changed how we see the whole universe.